The last time we saw Thor was in Thor Love and Thunder, and that film has a complicated reception. It's either considered the best Thor and you don't get it, or the worst Thor and you don't get it. When it comes to Thor 5, we're hearing they're going dark and in a major new direction and departure from the last two. So before we get into this, I just want to say I'm going to come off as a hater. I am not a hater. I've said it since the beginning, since this podcast started. Thor was never a character that appealed to me. The only version of Thor in the comics that I ever liked was Jane Foster's run, and they botched that on film, right out the gate. So, as it stands right now, I don't want to see another Thor film. I don't even want to see Thor again. I'm sorry, I'm sick of that character, and I freaking hate Thor Love and Thunder. Absolutely hate it. So, I don't want it. I don't want more Thor. I'm sorry. I know some people do. And maybe what we're hearing now without Taika that they're going in a new direction can work. Allegedly, early discussions are being held and they want Thor 5 to be the exact opposite of the last two films, which means they're going to go dark and apparently in a major new direction for Thor that's unlike anything we've seen in the MCU. So I don't personally know what to make of this. I don't know what this means. I don't know how you spin Thor in a different direction we haven't seen because they went dark. And they went super bright. Can we maybe meet in the middle? I know that's kind of maybe Ragnarok or maybe a little less goofy. I don't know what your stance on that film is. But I'm just interested to see how they're going to overhaul all of this, right? What do you do with a fifth Thor film? Are the people still there? Are people going to want to check it out? And what direction do you now go in, considering you left a lot of dangling threads in the last film that got to be, well, explained? So are we going in a dark direction where we're actually going to see Thor versus Hercules? And is it actually going to be a fight worth investing ourselves in? Or is it going to be, hey, these two guys are going to fight each other? But it's a Thor MCU film, so what we're actually going to do is they're going to throw quips at each other while they measure each other's biceps. And sure, for me, that's a 10 out of 10 scene. Sure. Maybe they're going to chest slap each other like Japanese strong style wrestling. And I'll be like, that's it. Uncle Dave and me giving this 7 stars in the Tokyo Dome, okay? Boy, that's a reference that went over 90% of your heads. 99% over your heads, trust me. But still, like, what do you do with Thor? What do you do? I don't know. I don't personally know. Sure, go dark. Let's see what happens. Go in the exact opposite direction of the last film and see what the reaction is. I certainly won't mind it if it's a serious film, but Thor, man, I am burnt out on this character.